for 70 years, Kashmiris have been denied the right to self-determination, and they've been denied the opportunity to determine their own political future through a plebiscite, as promised by the UN Security Council resolutions in the post-partition era. During that time, Kashmiris have come out in the streets. They came out in the streets throughout the post-partition era. They came out in the streets after 1989. They came out in the streets in 2008, 2010, 2011, 2016. They've been demonstrating their aspiration for their political future by coming out in the streets, right? And so one of the most popular protest forms that we've seen in Kashmir, at least since 1989, has been the form of, it's called the UNO Chalo. It's a popular march. Thousands of people come in the streets and march to the headquarters of the UN Military Observer Group in Kashmir and take memos and petitions, right, articulating their demand for the right to determine their own political future. The Kashmir issue has always been internationalized, right? And the UN has this very, very important kind of place in Kashmiri political identity and political consciousness and political imagination. That's because Kashmir is an international dispute, and it always has been, and it continues to be to this day. The UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights began expressing serious concern after India's use of excessive force through pellet-firing shotguns against innocent protesters, unarmed protesters in 2016 especially, started requesting access for monitors at that time, which led to the publication of the reports that we're talking about in 2018 and 2019. Those reports mark the international character of the Kashmir dispute, and they have been heartening, right? The international attention that has been paid to Kashmir since 2016, since 2018, and today with this hearing, like this is heartening. The international community is recognizing the international nature of the dispute. We've been talking about the recommendations in those reports, and many of the recommendations are very, very important. One of the recommendations that I would just like to highlight in closing is the recommendation, it's the only recommendation that the Office of the High Commissioner makes to the Human Rights Council, and that is recommending the establishment of a commission of inquiry that would cover the human rights situation on both sides of the line of control, in Indian-controlled Kashmir and in Pakistan-controlled Kashmir. So it would be my hope that the U.S. Congress would use its leverage in various ways that it can to support that recommendation for a commission of inquiry.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.